In the peaceful suburban ecosystem of Royal Woods, there is a very specific hierarchy. At the top of that hierarchy isn't the parents, it isn't the oldest sibling. No, at the very peak of the food chain sits a 6-year-old girl in a glittery sash who hasn't even finished growing her adult teeth yet. Welcome to the regime of Lola Loud. To the casual viewer, Lola is the mean girl of the family. She's loud, she's demanding, and she has a temper that could make a nuclear reactor look stable. But to the dedicated Loud House fandom, she is one of the most polarizing figures in animation. Some find her absolutely insufferable, the kind of character you want to mute every time she screams. Others see a Machiavellian genius, a tiny queen who understands power better than anyone twice her age. Today we're doing a deep dive into the Pink Abyss. We're discussing her character design, her terrifying psychological tactics, her growth from a villain to a protector, and we're finally answering the question, is Lola Loud actually annoying, or is she just the most competent person in the room? Lola's design is a masterpiece of visual storytelling. She is the literal mirror universe version of her twin sister Lana. While Lana is defined by dirt and frogs, Lola is defined by absolute, uncompromising perfection. She wears a floor-length pink gown, not just for pageants, but for life. She has the pearls, the white gloves, and the blonde curls that scream innocence. But here's the genius part, that missing front tooth. In character design, a gap tooth usually signifies a scrappy kid. On Lola, it's a warning. It tells you that despite the fancy dress, she is a fighter who has been in the trenches.
Stop looking at me! You stop looking at me!
Lola uses her design as a weapon. She knows she's cute. She knows that when she smiles, adults melt. But when that smile drops, her eyes shrink into tiny black dots of pure malice. The contrast between the little princess aesthetic and the warlord personality is where the comedy lives. Is it annoying when she uses her cuteness to manipulate people? Probably, but you have to admit, her branding is impeccable. She doesn't just wear a dress, she wears a uniform of authority. Now, let's get into why people find her crazy. Lola isn't just mean, she is a tactical genius. Most 6-year-olds are interested in dolls. Lola is interested in leveraged assets. In the iconic episode A Tattler's Tale, we discover that Lola keeps a literal logbook of everyone's secrets. She doesn't just listen, she investigates. She runs the Loud House like a high-stakes intelligence agency. This is the core of Lolagic. The world belongs to me, and you're just paying rent. People who dislike Lola usually point to her extreme entitlement. She demands the best seat, the best food, and absolute silence when she's practicing her pageant walk. If she doesn't get it, the Lolagit kicks in. If I'm not happy, no one is allowed to exist. The high-pitched screaming and the "I'll bury you" threats can be a lot for a viewer. It's that main character syndrome taken to a terrifying, albeit hilarious extreme. But for those of us who love her, Lola is funny because she's so absurdly intense. There is something objectively dark and hilarious about a child who drives a pink toy Jeep like she's in a high-speed chase. She isn't just throwing a tantrum, she's executing a revenge plot. When she says she'll make you regret the day you were born, you actually believe her. She's a tiny, pink-clad monster, and that dark edge is exactly what the show needs to keep the sweetness from becoming boring. Lola's interests are a very specific mix of high society glamour and low-key psychological warfare. Pageants. This isn't a hobby, it's a blood sport. She doesn't want a trophy, she wants her competition to retire in shame. Tea parties. If you're invited, it's not for the cookies, it's a deposition. You are there to serve the queen. Dislikes. She hates being ignored, she hates getting dirty, unless it's for revenge, and she absolutely despises being told no. This constant need for validation is what can make her annoying. If a character needs to be the center of attention 24/7, it can grate on the audience. However, the show balances this by making her remarkably good at what she does. Lola isn't just claiming to be a pageant star, she puts in the work. She's disciplined, she's focused, and she has a professional work ethic that's honestly intimidating. She's a girl boss before she can even do long division. If Lola had stayed the way she was in Season 1, she would be the most hated character in the show. Early Lola was mostly just a brat, but as the seasons progressed, the writers gave her something unexpected: honor. Lola Loud has a code. It's a scary, glittery code, but it's there. Look at her relationship with Lincoln. In the early days, she was his primary tormentor.
I'd hate for Dad to find out who broke his precious disco ball!
Who told you about that?
But in later seasons, Lola has become one of Lincoln's strongest allies. She's the one who will coach him on how to be confident. She's the one who will use her dark skills to help him get out of trouble. Why? Because Lola values loyalty above all else. Her relationship with Lana is also a highlight.
Be bluebells together. Maybe I don't want to be bluebells together. Maybe I don't either. Fine, fine.
Despite their constant fighting, Lola is fiercely protective of her twin. We see her struggle with her own ego and, more often than not, choose her family over a trophy.
I didn't fulfill the community service requirement. I was supposed to help someone, but I only helped myself.
This is why she isn't just annoying. An annoying character never changes. A great character grows while keeping their edge. Lola is still crazy, still demanding, and probably still has a hidden camera in your room. But she does it with a sense of purpose now. She's the family's enforcer, and every family needs one. So let's settle it. Is Lola Loud annoying? If you're looking for a sweet, quiet background character, then yes, Lola is your worst nightmare. She is a constant threat to the social order and a headache in a pink dress. But if you're looking for a character who brings energy, high stakes, and some of the best dark comedy in animation, Lola is an absolute icon. She represents the side of all of us that wants to win and isn't afraid to be a little crazy to get there. Lola Loud isn't just a character, she's a force of nature. She is the queen of diamonds for a reason. She's hard, she's shiny, and if you handle her wrong, she'll cut you.
Who's hungry? Seymour, where'd you go?
But what do you think? Does Lola's temper make you want to change the channel, or are you a loyal subject of the Lola regime? Let me know in the comments, but be careful what you type. Lola is definitely reading, and she never forgets a username. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay fabulous.
Goodbye, sweet crush.